Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dan Cave and welcome back to another bench update. So this is the March 2022 update, and in this episode I guess, we'll go with episode. And in this episode I'm going to have a look back at February in terms of what's been completed, what's been bought. I have a little bit of a look at what's in progress as well and what's coming up on the channel over the next few weeks. So it's been 2 weeks, since the last video went out. So that was the final part of the new Toyota Celica, which I'll come back to that when we look at what's been finished. So it's been a little bit of a break. And that's not because I'm not doing stuff. So a lot of stuff's been going on. A lot of building, a lot of stuff has started and in progress. And there is one of the completions will come out as a video at some point, but I'll talk about that in a few minutes. The other stuff that's been going on has been a little bit of work-related stuff as well. So I was away last week with work. I was in New York for a few days, so that kind of took me away from the bench. And it kind of spoils your weekend before you go a little bit, because you're kind of thinking about you getting packed and that kind of stuff and getting prepped. So then it kind of took away the week being over there. But I did pick up a couple of kits in Hobby Lobby, so that was nice little bonus. And then of course you come back and there's the kind of tiredness and a little bit of jet lag coming back. So plus Saturday I had a day out meeting up with some of the guys from ISM, so that kind of took away from actually modelling and actually took me away from video editing as well. So but I'll talk about that a little bit as we go on. So main things that have happened since last month. So obviously last month was a particularly difficult month. So the last bench out update came out just after Gary Pashley sadly passed away, so spoke about that a little bit in the last one. So this month I'm going to talk a little bit about the group build that we're doing on ISM as a tribute to Gary. Quite a few of us are going to do what probably his all-time favourite aircraft, the F-15. So I've got a Great Wall Hobbies one there, and that's in progress, so we'll discuss that a little bit in the in progress section once I get to it. Other than that, obviously, we'll look at all the stuff in progress as well. General stuff that's been going on with the channel, nothing significant. There's been a nice little bit of growth. The kind of viewing numbers and the subs numbers have kind of gradually increased, which is brilliant. And I'm kind of happy with the way it's growing. It's good to see the comments and feedback from people as well. That's always nice to see. And of course, if you are watching this and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Please do the subscribe bit. Click that bell notification so you'll get notified immediately when videos are out. And of course, for this video itself, please drop a like as well. All the likes really help, and if I can get some videos to 50 likes, that helps with the kind of YouTube algorithm, helps get people aware of my videos that wouldn't be a normal subscriber, so that it'll appear in a recommended list and stuff like that. So it might bring in a little bit more kind of viewing and subscribing. So but other than that, I'm really happy with what basically has been a year. So it's pretty much a year since the channel started. So not really one for kind of nominal anniversaries of things, but I suppose it is worth mentioning it's been a year. There's been quite a few video builds done over the year. I've tried to do a monthly bench update since the start. A few little random bits thrown in here and there, and I've really enjoyed doing it. It's helped me kind of track what I'm doing. It's helped me think more about what I'm doing. I think it's helped my modelling, and hopefully my modelling will help and inspire other people, or at least teach them what not to do maybe. But yeah, so it's been a fantastic journey actually over that year. I've kind of really enjoyed it. It's yeah, it kind of, it's added a little bit of something different to me that maybe I wouldn't have done before. You know, get myself out there, put my face in front of a camera for people to look at. There we go. So that's it. So I suppose let's get to the first section. So first section is going to be what's been built. So we'll have a little bit of a look at what's done. Then we'll carry on with what's been bought, and then what's the in progress bit. So let's head over to the bench. Oh, before I go, as you'll see in the corner up there on screen, scaly models, mic mountain. We would have a lot of common subscribers, but if you're not, if you're out there watching and you're not a subscriber to Mike, please drop him a sub. We're trying to push him to 1,000. I think he's up in the 600s now. But yeah, let's continue to push his channel. So Mike, Scaly Models and Saudi Ice Queen, so they stream a couple of times a week. They're always a good laugh to watch. They're great people. And it's well worth having a sub of Mike as well. He's got so if you sub to his channel, watch his live stream, he's also got a Facebook page where, you know, you can also share your work as well. You know, so some of these kind of groups and channels are a great way for people to get out there and interact with the rest of the modelling community. Because I know for me anyway, modelling could be for a few years, it was quite an isolated hobby. Very much in my own world, and that's changed radically over the last few years for me. So, you know, there's a lot more people see my work than I ever thought would, and that's been an interesting journey. But, you know, if you want to, you know, kind of help your own hobby as well by sharing your work, certainly come join ISM. Certainly watch the ISM live streams as well. So that's on Paul ISM Live at the Bench channel. But definitely give Mike a sub. Support his channel as much as you can, because he's a great guy, top-notch guy. So there we go. Let's, without further ado, I think this time, definitely, let's head over and see what's been built. And I'll be back at the end for my usual thanks, goodbyes, and final thoughts. So as promised, it's what's been built is the first section. So there's a hand, there's another hand. That's handy. So the first thing that was built in February was the new Toyota Celica ST165. So this was a video build. So there is a full 3-part video series on this on the channel. It is a relatively simple kit from New. I mean, it's completely curbside. The interior is fairly simple as well, but I have to say I really enjoyed it. But I'm kind of a fan of rally cars of this era, so this is kind of right up my street in terms of what I enjoy building in cars at the moment, I think. And kind of, as I said in previous kind of months, I think there's going to be a few rally cars this year. But yeah, but certainly this was one of the very first ones. So so yeah, so so in terms of body work, it's a white plastic kit. It's been primed in white, UMP white. Then I've given a base coat of Zero Paints Pure Brilliant White. Decals applied straight down on that using UMP Solutions. And then left to dry for a bit, and then clear coated with Pro Range 2K. Now I had switched to Gravity a while back and done a couple of kits in Gravity, but I've basically run out of Gravity, and I had lots of Pro Range checked on it, and it was all still in good condition, so I kind of went with that this time. I think Gravity is better. I think there's a little bit of a kind of haziness about the Pro Range. It's very, very good, but not quite as good as Gravity. But I've got lots of it, and the hardener has got not gone off. It's been in a, you know, a dry cool out of sunlight cupboard. So it's absolutely perfect, and still needs to work fine. So yeah, so this kit, I guess I decided not to go with the wheel covers on the front. I didn't really like them. Thought it kind of spoiled the lines of the car, so I decided not to use them. The only downside to this kit, I think the clear parts are a little bit of an awkward tight fit. They don't fit as well as I've seen on other kits, but with a little bit of finagling, if that's a word. There we go, finagling. So a little bit of adjustment, a little bit of kind of movement, a little bit of pressure, tiny bit of pressure. They will fit in okay. I mean, you don't want to use too much pressure because these B and C pillars are incredibly thin and will be very easy to damage. But a little bit of pressure just gets it in to good enough condition, but not as good as I've seen on other kits. But aside from that, I really enjoyed this. Thoroughly enjoyable build. So yeah, so that is the Celica. So number 2 in terms of the builds was this. So this is the Revell F4J in 72nd scale, which is an X monogram kit. I think, looking on ScaleMates, it looks like lots of people have distributed this kit at some point. I'll be honest, it's not a good kit. It's all raised panel lines. The moulding is very poor at this stage. There's a lot of parts have kind of bad seam lines on them. It's just not a good kit. And when building it, it was definitely sucking the life out of me. I mean, I'm a big fan of the Phantom. I've not built one in many years, and I thought I'd enjoy this, but I didn't quite get that level of enjoyment. The construction phase was just a little bit hard work and tedious. However, saying that, I like to finish things. I couldn't just put it on a shelf and not finish it, so we went all the way through. There's probably a few things I should have done differently, should have done better. Pushed it on to the finish though. So yeah, so for this, I think it was base coat of UMP grey primer, then used a little bit of black and white just to get some marbling effect, and then it was the Vallejo Insignia white on the underside, and Vallejo light gold grey on top. Then further masking, do some of the metallic parts, further masking for the black parts. Decals, lots of weathering. So I've got all the video footage of this. So what I plan to do with this is I plan to do probably like a 20-25 minute video of the build process. So it'll be a lot of it cut out, a lot of it kind of condensed down into a kind of quick build of this Phantom, because ultimately it was a pretty quick build. But yeah, so so we've got all the footage, just need to sit down and do some editing and get that out. I also need to take some photographs, and I know for myself that if when I'm not entirely happy with a kit, if I don't immediately photograph it, it's because I didn't enjoy it as much as I have other kits. But that's but ultimately that is another completed kit. So yeah, so I'm reasonably happy that it's done. Reasonably happy with some aspects of it. I mean, I think I was quite happy with some of the weathering on it. I think it's produced quite a kind of grimy looking airframe. Again, in 72nd scale, can be hit or miss with some things on weathering and 72nd scale, but I think it's come out. It looks kind of visually interesting on the shelf to me, and enough to make me go, yeah, I quite like that. But when I kind of look at some of the details on it, I can see where the kit has its problem areas. But let's have a look at some of them in the when I get to the video editing and get this uploaded as a video build. However, that's the what's been built. So, on over to the what's been bought category. So, what has been bought? Well, we're going to have a look. This is a little bit different, so not a huge amount of kit action. So let's just bring this camera up a little bit and just adjust it. So, not a huge amount in the kit bought category, but I did invest in some decals. So this is my kind of decal collection. So obviously not everything's just been bought. So one of the things I did buy, got some more carbon fibre. It's in this case Scale Motorsport carbon fibre. In terms of schemes, so first scheme that I picked up was this one, which is another Opel Manta scheme, which is for 1985 Manx Rally, Bertie Fisher and Austin Fraser. So I built one of these last year, so it was in the black shell oil scheme, kind of similar elements, but kind of like inverted colours. This one is white, the one I built last year was black. So so I picked them up from Reggie Model. I also picked up these, which are a set of Rothmans decals for the 1985 Circuit of Ireland Rally, so Billy Coleman's car. So I saw this car on this rally, very young, but I did see it. So this is for the recently released new 911 SCRS. So I don't have the kit yet, but I've got the decal scheme I want for it. So they are done and in the decal pile. So let's keep going. So I got these. So this is the Castrol scheme for the Revell F4J LM, which is a very, very nice scheme and a very nice set of decals from Racing 43. I wanted these for a while, finally got them, and while I was there I had to pick up another couple of sets as well. So I picked up this scheme for the AMG GT3, which is one of the kits I bought. I quite like the colour. That's mainly what drew me to it. On a similar vein, while I was on the same website, I also picked up these. So these are SLS GT3 decals for the Fujimi kit, in that silver and Patronus turquoisey blue green colour. So again, quite like the colour scheme, so went with that, and that's from the Spa 24 Hour in 2014. So again, I don't have this kit yet, but there's plenty of them available to pick up. So that is all the decals I've picked up, I think, certainly recently. Yeah. So other stuff that was purchased, before we get to the one and only kit purchase. I did pick up a Studio 27 seatbelt set, 24th scale. So yeah, so one of the things I didn't do on the Celica, on the new Celica, was I didn't put a set of seatbelts in it. I put the kit decals in, which, you know, in retrospect I would have preferred to have these. I didn't have them at the time. I had no photo etch seatbelts on me at the time, so I went with kit decals, and that kind of spurred me on to go buy a set. So I'll get used on future builds, and by the looks of it, there's a couple of options in there for different styles of seat belts on kind of older GT cars, newer GT and Formula 1 cars. So definitely scope to use these on a number of different builds. But yeah, nice to get them. So the one main kit purchase which I picked up was the Revell 24th scale Jordan Mugen Honda EJ10. So as you can hear from my accent, probably, I am Irish. Eddie Jordan's Jordan Formula 1 team always had a big following in Ireland, and I was, you know, one of their big supporters when they were racing. So there's this, and I think there's a Jordan 197 as well, which I don't have, but I managed to pick this one up, a little bit of an eBay bargain. It was sealed in the box, but it's definitely showing its age. So there's not a huge amount in this kit. I mean, there's basically, you know, you got 2 sprues, you got the body work molded in yellow, and then the kind of chassis running gear and rear wing, and then some separately included tires as well. So and you notice how dated looking these instructions are. Now the one downside to this kit is these decals do not look in good condition. This could be a kind of project killer for this, as they may be of absolutely no use whatsoever. They do appear to already be cracked and broken in a few places. So what I think I may end up doing with these is, I think I may spray them with liquid decal film, just to protect them. Well, I'll scan them for starters. I'll get them scanned in, so maybe able to print some if I need to. But these ones will get sprayed in liquid decal film, and I may be able to rescue them. Possibly unlikely for all of them, but it's hard to get spare decals for them. So it may you know, may trash the kit, may not be usable, and it may end up as a paint meal. But for the price I paid on eBay, I was quite happy to kind of go with that. So let's get that back in its box. So there are a couple of more recent purchases, but we'll cover them next month. Next up, it is, I'm just having a quick look back. Did I buy anything else? I can't see anything in my photos. Normally I photograph them, so I'm looking at them on screen while you're looking down at my desk. So I can't see anything that jumps out as recently bought. So let's get to the in progress bit. So first up on the in progress, just grab the box, is the Tamiya Suzuki GSX-RR MotoGP bike. So did an inbox review of that a little while ago. It's on the channel. Finally started building it. So now, lots of people are building this at the moment. but I've decided to do something slightly different, so I'm actually going to do the 2021 bike. So there are some differences in the scheme. There's some extra decals were available from TB Decals in Italy, which gives you the extra bits. So it's basically a Monster sponsorship, and that's the, I suppose, the prime difference, I suppose. So yeah, so that's going to be used. So quite a bit of progress has been made on the bodywork. So they were painted 24 hours ago, or at least finished painted 24 hours ago. So these were primed in UMP black. They were then using the Zero paint set, all sprayed in silver, and then masked up using a combination of a mask set I got from Luke Ward via Paul Bretland, which is very useful, at least some bits. However, the scheme on this particular year bike is slightly different. So basically on the 2020 bike there's a different kind of shape on the blue, so that had to be hand masked. Plus of course, let's have a look. So yeah, so if you look at, we'll say, this bottom fairing piece, which is maybe a good place to highlight the differences. So on the 2020 bike that's all in blue, so this is actually going to be pretty much all black, and that's where the Monster decals go. There's only a tiny little bit of silver at this top edge. On the 2020 bike it's a much bigger section, and then there's going to be a little bit of blue, and then that goes down into the black decal. So a few little differences, not a huge amount. So as you can see, these are nicely painted up in their blue. So you can see for this one, the blue is not as intense at the rear end of this because it's going to be painted black anyway, so that wasn't an issue. So this is a video build. Part 1, depending on progress, will probably get up to the bodywork decaled. Not 100% sure, but we'll see how much progress I make and how much video footage there is. But certainly there's a lot covering the bodywork prep, because there's a little bit of work to do on, certainly on this part. I needed a little bit of sprue glue. I needed to repair some of the panel lines because I didn't quite get them right in the first place. But that'll be covered in video, and then obviously there's the prime and paint, and that's covered. So I'll probably need to get the black done at some point over the next day or two. Once that's cured, then get back into the decals, and then these bodywork bits will be ready for 2K. So that was number 1 in progress. So number 2 in progress, which is for the ISM GT and Le Mans group build, is going to be this. So this is the Audi R10 TDI Revell kit in 24th scale. So as you can see, the bodywork has been prepped and has been primed in black. And somewhere, aha, there it is. I have the silver from Zero paints for that, for the Audi. So that's going to be the base colour for that. So not a huge amount beyond this is done. Pretty much got the primer down. Not really looked at it since it was done, so I need to go back over and check if there's any kind of flaws or any sanding, and then it'll probably get, if it does, it'll probably need another couple of coats of primer just to blend that all in. But yeah, primed in UMP black, and then there's a few other bits of bodywork which are separate, which are also done and sat curing. So, well, should be done actually because it was done yesterday. So that is number 2 of the in progress. So that's not a video build. sorry. I can't video build everything because I'd get nothing done, basically. Yeah, it's quite Batmobile looking. It's done like that. But that is number 2 in progress. So then the final kit in progress, which is part of the Gary Pashley Memorial Tribute build, is the Great Wall Hobbies 72nd scale F15E Strike Eagle. So there are inbox reviews. I know Paul did an inbox review of this a few years ago, and I know Paul's got part 1 of his video out. This will be a video build as well from me. So basically all that's been done on that so far has been a little bit of prep for the cockpit. So not really much to say on that. So parts are basically mounted, ready for the start of the prime and paint of the cockpit areas. Although I may just go to paint some of these. Great Wall Hobbies plastic normally takes the acrylics quite well, and there's not going to be much interaction with those surfaces once they're painted. So yeah, sometimes they'll just go straight to paint. But yeah, so all of them are that's pretty much all the cockpit parts. Yeah, so we'll just go straight to paint. Some of them I've left on the sprue just to make them easier to paint. And when they're kind of painted, they'll get cleaned up and touched up a little bit where necessary. But as an example, something like the instrument panel right here, so that basically attaches at the bottom anyway, so that's going to be hidden by where it's glued, so I could just leave that on a section of sprue. Most of the other bits are then mounted on some blue tack and coffee stirrers. So that is literally just started. I've not really done a huge amount on that. It's this weird Great Wall Hobbies separate booklets. So yeah, as you can see, it's I'm still basically on step 1. But you know, while the paint is curing, I can kind of kick on with a few other bits and pieces and start prepping some of the intakes. A few other bits and pieces to prep. Once the cockpit is done, I think that assembly will fly together. But yeah, so looking forward to this kit as well. And I picked this up last year. I was always looking forward to it because what I've built from Great Wall Hobbies to date, I've really enjoyed. And I would have expected this to be not significantly different in that regards. So quite looking forward to this. So yeah, so as you can see, that's basically 3 relatively complex builds in progress, 2 of which are video builds. So that can slow progress a little bit sometimes, but I'm not too worried about that. I need to learn to go at whatever pace comes out and not feel like I need to rush kits to the finish line. So that's it. So that's what's been built, what's been bought, what's in progress. So let's go back to me for a bit of a sum up. I told you I'd be back. I am. Hopefully you're still with me. You've sat through built, bought, in progress, in that order as well, I think. So yes, so that's it. That's the bench review done. Final thoughts from me. It's not actually many today, actually. Busy with work. I just got home from work as well, so I had to get straight in and get this bench update done, kind of ASAP. My final thoughts are: get to your bench, get modelling, get out there and join some of the Facebook groups like ISM, Mike's Model Making Co-op, sub to his YouTube channel as well, and get sharing your own work and get that interaction going. Certainly on ISM Facebook page, it's the standard rule is no critique, but if you want people to critique your works, ask for it, and people will give you good constructive kind of criticism, good constructive input onto your models, and if your standard is as good as some of the other builders out there, we'll all learn from what you do. So to get out there and share your work. So thank you everyone for watching. If you're not a subscriber already, please subscribe. Please drop a like as well if you've liked the video. And of course, as always, all comments are welcome. It's always nice to hear from you guys. So thank you all for watching, and stand by for some stuff that's coming up in the future that I've already spoken about in the various sections. So watch out for the videos coming out over the next couple of weeks. So yeah, thank you all. So bye everyone, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Bye.